Call it to order. Remote attendance pursuant to State Executive Order 2020-07 and 2020-18, which temporarily suspend the in-person presence requirements and eliminate the limitation on remote access to the Illinois Open Meetings Act. Due to the COVID pandemic, the board is not requiring physical attendance at the meeting and will allow all board members to attend this meeting remotely and fully participate remotely. Okay. So first part is to okay the approval of the agenda. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move.
I guess I have to second, right?
Okay.
I can second.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you over there. You snuck in there. Sorry about that. Okay.
You're okay.
Okay. All in favor? Do we have,
Yes.
to, we have to do this one at a time, right?
Yeah.
Samantha?
Yes.
And Nakia?
No, Kate.
Kate, why did I say Nakia? I thought she said, okay,
Yes.
Kate?
Yes.
Now
Uh,
Carl's here.
Carl, are you there?
He's just coming in.
I'm going to say, okay, let's just go ahead. We can go ahead and do that, right?
Yeah, you got three.
Okay, motion passes. So we're going to look at to make sure, has everybody had an opportunity to take a look at the minutes? Any additions, corrections, or deletions? I looked at them. I think there might have been a don't or something, but I'm not going to be Mark. I think Ms. Carroll moved to table the policy, but I think we can just leave it like it is. I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
I'll move to accept the motions as presented,
I'll second.
or the minutes. Sorry.
All right, we'll have a vote. And Kate,
Yes.
Samantha,
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Okay. Now we're on to public comments. Do we have any public comments?
No public comments.
All right, then we're on to written communications from the public.
None.
All right, this is going to be a quick one, maybe, right? Okay. We're not going for a marathon. Okay, under new business, we have the personnel update. Rick?
We're in that, we reopened the secretary search and we interviewed last week, Robert and Betty Jo and Matt Wilkerson and I emailed interviewed via Zoom 12 candidates. It was a really strong field. We are now in the midst of, we winnowed it down to 5, and we're in the midst of conducting those interviews. We're doing those face to face. We've done 2, we have 3 to go. My intention is to, by Wednesday of next week, to make an offer to one of the candidates.
Great.
Yeah.
That's good that you had so many people apply.
Yeah, really good candidates too.
That's awesome. Okay, the Board of Trustees bylaws, which is going to be an action. Are we talking about?
And I don't expect any final action today, but just in case you wanted to, I made it an action item. We're supposed to formally review them every 3 years. It's been about 3 years. Now, we made a revision last year to allow for electronic attendance, kind of an emergency one, and but we haven't given it a thorough going over in a few years. And some of the ideas that have been, bounced around were, we don't say anything about term limits. I'm thinking now we don't want to. I mean, it's always been a tradition. Two terms is the max, and then you have to be off for at least a year. But it's never been a written thing. It's been talked about in the past couple of years. Maybe it should be in writing somewhere, but that's obviously it's you guys' call. But now that as we're having trouble filling the empty seats, I'm not sure is the time to enforce term limits. The other thing Samantha had wanted to talk about was the possibility of, it says in here that committee assignments are for one person for a year, and Samantha had another thought about that. Samantha, you want to?
Yeah, at least for the Friends of the Library, I mean, the foundation it only meets once or twice a year, so that's a fairly, not a very big time commitment, but it does mention that there's a Friends trustee member who needs to go to the Friends meeting, and that is a commitment. That's another hour meeting every month. So my thought was, I don't know how we would word it, but that friend, as it would just be assigned out to we would have just a schedule for the year, and then we would assign like one board member per month to go. So then that person first of all gets to know the Friends and what they do. And then the second part is that it lessens the requirement for that trustee. Because I was that person until I wasn't. And we haven't had a trustee actually go to one of those meetings since the pandemic, maybe before the pandemic.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
remember. So it would also have the Friends of the Library get to know each one of us as well. So
So is that something you want to put in the bylaws, or is it just something that the president takes the responsibility on themselves, that individual, and they?
I think it would just be a wording kind of thing. As far as
I just put in chat what it says under Article 4. Trustees will also be appointed by the president to serve for 1 year on other required boards, including but not limited to Friends of the Decatur Public Library and Decatur Public Library Foundation. So if you want to do it another way, you'll have to change what that says.
I mean, and even if it's just trustees will be appointed by the president to serve on other required boards, like just take out that for 1 year. Because that does change the meaning, and it just means that I would assign it out as needed. I mean, I would probably keep you on the foundation as long as you are willing, Michael, but like as far as the Friends, that's the main concern, I would think. Do you guys?
We just need to come up with some kind of wording. Rick, you know what she's looking for, correct?
I guess it could say something like, and we now have an attorney on this committee. They're good at that, but it could say something like, the president has the authority to make monthly assignments to the Friends of the Library meeting or something like that. I don't know.
Has the authority then, yeah.
Kate?
Yeah. No,
We don't have to come
you
up
you probably want to have language requiring the president to make a monthly schedule or something like that, but that leaves it so he or she can appoint them, on a month-to-month basis. So like maybe the president shall appoint a member to serve, on the Friends board according to a monthly schedule or something like that.
I mean, and are you guys okay with that? I mean, that would be also a change for you as well. So, I mean, and we can make it, as long as I know it's more work for me, but it's also less work for whoever would have been assigned as the person, because it could have been any of you.
I was just thinking, when would you assign? I mean, would that be at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the, when would you make that? It's not like we do the meetings, the meetings, and you just have a list of names.
Yep, that's probably what I would do.
And then how do you decide who goes twice and who goes, you know what I mean?
I think it would just be rolling, that was my initial thought. It would just, the current members of the board, even if it's just alphabetical order, my last name or whatever, and then just go down the list
So Kate, you said something like the president shall choose a board member to attend the Friends meeting.
Each month. Well,
I didn't write
yeah,
down.
I mean, the president will appoint a trust. I'm trying to think of a way where like it requires the president to appoint such board members, but gives the president flexibility
On who?
you know, on
Is
who
that board?
serves what month.
Yeah.
The president will choose a board member or a trustee. It doesn't, that's not to attend a monthly Friends meeting.
About shall select each month. A
Yeah.
trustee to attend.
Select a trustee to attend a, I can't read my own writing. As I just wrote it down.
The president will appoint a trustee to attend each monthly meeting of, or no. Ooh.
I mean, they have it every
President-
month. So, I mean, the monthly meeting.
Yeah, that's what I said. President will appoint a trustee to attend a monthly Friends meeting,
Yeah.
something like that.
Question for clarification. So is this for the entire board or is this for this PPR committee specifically?
No.
The
no.
entire board. Yeah. You have to go 4 times, Carl.
Yeah, that would.
How about what I put in the chat there? How does that look?
What's that?
I just put some
Oh, okay.
text in the chat and just.
Oh, the
Oh, I
chat.
like that. Yeah. President will appoint-
Meeting would be the last word of it, meeting.
Do you say when they're going to do it, like at the beginning of the year, or you just leave it open like that?
I would
Well,
just
I
be open to, well, I don't
The
know.
way that reads is every month you're going to tell somebody.
Okay.
Go this month. And now I don't know if that's the way you want to do it, but that's.
Well, I would at least have a plan of who's going to attend. I mean, me personally, if I'm the president, I would plan it out so that everybody knows what month they would be required to attend, and what day that meeting is on. And then it's just going to be a little bit more work.
Maybe we just kind of think on that language between now and next month, and
Yeah.
and go. But we know where we want to end up, and I can give you guys a few different possibilities to choose from, and we can go from there.
Yeah.
And does it? What do you guys think about the term limits thing? I mean, it doesn't seem like the best time to start putting that in there to me, but.
Yeah, I would leave it, but it's up to you guys.
So the other thing I spotted in reviewing this that, you know, we've kind of tweaked this a couple of times in the last 6 years, but so for under annual meeting, it says that board officers shall be selected at the annual meeting, and what has been done is those officers don't take office until July.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not, you know, there was a lot of debate on this one about 4 years ago, and that's what, and that's what we came up with. But the other thing is it doesn't say how. So some years we've assigned a committee to nominate, and other years we haven't, and we didn't in January of this year because I forgot, and February is the annual meeting. So the annual meeting is in a couple of weeks, and we'll have to elect the officers, you know, in whatever you know, in an ad hoc, more of an ad hoc fashion. And the other thing, just to consider, just for you guys to throw out, I like the way in the Illinois Library Association, for their committees and the board, there's always on the board an immediate past president, and that's their title, the president, and the incoming president. They don't have a vice president, they have the incoming president. You know, this is the next president. So the most recent past president is there as a resource for the current president. And, you know, the incoming president is, you know, kind of being groomed to become the president, and everybody knows who's going to be president next year. I like that. It's something to consider, and I can get the language from those bylaws if you're at all interested. But there's, you know, we've never done it that way, and we've been fine. But I just think I think there's a lot of merit to the idea.
Yeah, considering that I didn't know what to do when I first started.
Well, we had so many people shuffle around, you know?
Yeah. So it's just a thought. And, you know, for us, secretary is largely, there's a couple of things, a couple of things to sign every year. There's not a lot of, you know, but that, it's something to think about. I don't expect, you know, I never expected to put as big a document as the bylaws in front of you guys, and in a couple of days you'd figure out everything you want to do with it. But those were my thoughts.
Okay. So what is we're going to wait this till the next meeting to decide this, or bring it up at the board meeting?
I would recommend to, you know, give it a fuller reading next month, and we can, I can bring you some different options on language for that appointees to the Friends. I can give you, if you're interested, I can give you the language from the ILA bylaws about officers. And then, you know, next month, this committee can decide what, if any, changes they want to recommend.
That sounds good.
Yep.
Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
So you will need to vote to table it since we put it as an action item.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to table the Board of Trustees bylaws.
I'll move.
Second.
Samantha, second?
Yeah, second.
Okay, Carl, second. Okay, we got to do this. Samantha,
Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
Kate,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
say yes.
Am I on mute? Yes.
Hey, you.
Yeah, say yes. Okay, motion
Yes.
passes.
Yes, say yes.
It's fine.
Okay, just say yes. Okay, number 3, the library records confidentiality policy.
Yeah, there's no changes to make to this, but every 3 years we publicly adopt this. It's state law, but we just make a public commitment that we are going to follow this law to keep the patron records confidential.
Okay, do we go ahead since it's
Yeah, I would motion to, unless somebody has a different idea, I would take a motion to recommend it to the full board.
Okay, who would like to make that motion?
I'll make that
move.
motion.
Susan? Kate, you can
I'll second. I'll second.
Or okay, you got that, Robert? Who's first and who's second? Susan? We have to do individual, yes or
It's
no.
on recording.
Yeah.
Susan?
Yes.
Okay. Kate?
Yes.
Samantha?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. All right. Under new business, is there any other, Rick, discuss?
I don't think I have any now.
Okay. Under old business, we have the sexual harassment and retaliation policy.
And I don't have the recommended changes from library council yet.
Okay. So are we motioning to table that?
Yeah, and that's the case with the next 2 items. Council was going to come up with some recommendations for us and some language, and I'm not received that yet.
I'll move to table the sexual harassment and retaliation policy and the workplace discrimination policy.
Second.
Carl seconds. Okay. Samantha?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
Kate?
Yes.
All right. Motion passes. Okay, Robert, we've got diversity, equity, inclusion.
Right now, there's not much to report, just waiting on a couple of contacts to get back with me. I did talk with Karen. I think I mentioned to you guys, I talked with Karen Lyons, who's in Evanston, and she recommended, if we just really wanted to parse out the proposal. By the way, did everyone get a proposal, get a copy of
Yes.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, she said, because there were some things in there that were, looked a little generic. Wasn't quite sure what what services was being offered, how many times, she would be on site and things like that. So I got an email in to meet with Christina, who's sent the proposal. And so we'll talk about that. And hopefully, we can get started here soon. Karen also, she invited me to talk with Stu, and Rick's familiar with Stu from Library Strategies. They're the ones that did our
Strategic plan.
strategic plan. Yeah.
Michael and Samantha are familiar too.
Right. So they're working. So what they did before was they worked with another group. So if there can be some sort of combined effort, we'll kind of see what both worlds hold, so to speak. But right now, what I'd like from Christina is to just sort of tell us what we're getting for our money, really, basically, because it was generic. And I know she put it together pretty quick, but we just need a breakdown of what we're going to get for our money. And Karen suggested that we remind her that it's a public library. We don't have a lot of money in public libraries. So we'll see how it goes. As soon as she gets back, more to come pretty soon.
Devil's in the
Thank
details.
I do have a question. So have we looked into any grants for that?
I have not. And that may be a good question for her. I've not looked into any grants for the training, and there should be some out there. So
I think so too. I mean, that
Even potentially locally, really. There's some local money for this too.
okay.
So yeah, we'll follow that lead and take a look further into that. There might be some opportunities for that.
Yeah.
Just to kind of offset something.
Sure.
Yeah. Good idea. Okay. Is there any other? Robert? No. Robert or Rick, how about that? Any other? All right. If that's it, then we're going to call this a quick one.
Well, I want to say that Robert has the best background ever.
Yeah, that is cool.
It is Hammer and Hank. Here's a for baseball nerds. Who caught the 715th home run? Somebody caught it. Somebody
I like
caught
that
it.
too.
Why? So
Is he the one that caught it?
Yeah, Tom House was in the bullpen, and he just turned around and went. So he was
that's
on the
cool.
other side of the wall, but pitcher for the Braves.
I do have one question to Samantha. Have you scheduled Rick's evaluation yet?
Yeah, it's tomorrow. Did you want to come or did?
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. I just wanted to be sure it was moving along.
Yes.
Did everybody get their thing in?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yep, I got it.
Okay.
All right.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Okay. Samantha,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
Kate.
Yes.
Woohoo!